Welcome to the show, to the history mix. I went to watch 6 and it's changed my prefix. I don't know.
Dick.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Okay.
No, I need more than that. Was it, Georgie? What was it about?
no, because
I'll tell you, Beth.
No, because you know what?
What?
You know what happens?
What?
You didn't hold up your end of the deal.
What was my end of the deal?
You know what your deal
I
was.
posted the picture in the Hub.
A bit late, doll.
I know. I forgot. Do you know what? I actually forgot I took the photo that I've got and put on there. It was really... It's a hen do activity, by the way.
I've loved it. I've seen it on TikTok. I didn't get invited, obviously.
It wasn't... I can't buy you a birthday.
She took my sister.
I didn't. I took my friend that looks exactly like her. But
my younger sister, like Hannah likes to say.
Yeah, definitely not, but yeah. But it's like a concert. I didn't know what I was expecting.
I think all musicals are like a concert, though.
Oh, you say musical?
Musical.
I love it. Musical.
My Jack's mum's going to see ABBA Voyage this weekend.
Oh, that's cool. I would like to see that. I also want to go to the Mamma Mia show, you know, where you sit and have food.
Yes.
And they're all right, but it's so expensive.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
I want today to just be a mismatch. I've just wrote down loads of things that I want to say, and there's no
right.
like... nothing brings them all together.
Very good though.
Yeah, it's just like TikToks and stories and like stuff that's happening. So
What's up, TikTok?
What's up, TikTok? Roll the intro, Brian.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
The Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
so you know it's going to be juicy.
Guess what the Crafty Lab have done now?
What? Anything they do, I'm sure I'm going to love.
They have created larger sized newspapers, and I mean like big, tabloid style.
I'm obsessed. That is so cool.
I have the best idea for these. Imagine giving one of your groomsmen like an A-board to wear, and they stand at the front and hand out newspapers to guests on the way in. Like the welcome sign meets the order of the day meets fun.
That would be so good. But I'd have them around for breakfast, like croissants, fruit, and my big face on a tabloid right there.
Yes, and you'd have to save some for that iconic shot in the morning with the bridal party in their PJs in bed.
Basically, these are an absolute no-brainer.
And they are less than £4 each, so you get iconic photos, welcome signage, order of the day, and so much more for less.
You could even include your table plan, menus, basically everything because you've got the space.
Guys, get yourself to the Crafty Lab now.
And use Unfiltered for 10% off. You're welcome. When you say Brian like that, reminds me of, is it Family Guy?
Brian.
Brian. I don't watch Family Guy.
It actually says Brian's full name in Family Guy. Randomly, we're in one of the episodes. It goes, they're like Stewie and Brian are talking to each other, and it goes Brian Mitchell, and we were like, what? For no reason.
Do you believe in the Simpsons? You know, like the theories.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Well, I don't know what I mean by believe though.
I just think that's fucking.
There's too many of them.
It's too weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too strange.
I think I'm snotty because.
Oh my God! Don't.
No, but you know, no, I'm not
Hay
ill.
fever.
Maybe, or
There's a
you know when you start
pollen
putting
bomb.
the fan on at night. Brian keeps
Are
the fan on.
you rich enough to have a fan on all night, Brian?
Not frugal anymore, is he?
Can
Can I tell you what happens every night to when we go to bed? You know it's not that.
By the way, I just digged him out because he was moaning at me for buying clothes, saying, buying nice clothes doesn't make you happy. Well, Brian, it fucking does for me, just like you leave the fan on at night makes you happy. All right?
Wow, okay. What? I don't know how much the fan. Anyway, so
They'll be having aircon fucking installed tomorrow.
Who wants fucking aircon? I was like, I don't need aircon for 1 week.
How much
a year.
does that cost?
I don't know. £150 for the
Oh,
unit. It's only like
bullshit.
it's the little unit thing.
And how much electric does that use, Brian? I could not get married to Brian.
Okay.
I don't know how you got married to Brian with his frugalness.
So this is I would like to bring this up, and then I want to go back to the bedtime thing. Everyone thinks that Brian is very frugal. He's absolutely not. People make this perception of what our lives must be like, where we're like saving and do. We don't save on anything. We don't do like a cheaper option of stuff. What we do is we pay for stuff annually so that it's a bit cheaper. We then put everything into pots so that we have £150 for family fun every month.
Yeah, and you've got like a book pot.
a growth and education fund. But yeah, so we spend more now than we have ever spent
on things that you find value in.
No.
Whereas Brian doesn't find value in the things I spend my money on, but he'll spend money on a fucking aircon.
He doesn't get the
unit.
clothes thing. He'll never get the clothes thing.
Yeah, but
though.
Jack doesn't get the
Although
clothes
he bought
thing.
himself a nice pair of Ray-Bans the other day.
Fucking hell,
That's what I'm saying. He's not frugal.
Brian, hide behind that light after you just digged me out.
But-
What's wrong with a Primark pair of sunglasses? Did the Ray-Bans make you feel nice? Did they make you feel better?
I bought them because I've never had quality, and I've never.
We're just very intentional spending.
And I didn't put on
Are you an intentional spender? And
Yeah.
don't fucking lie.
As right, I am. I actually cannot believe that has just come out when he was just digging me out about buying fucking
No,
clothes.
he's digging you out for buying clothes because you said to me,
Well, I said
you
you-
would be happier if you bought clothes not from
No.
Boohoo. And I was like, where the fuck are you getting
I
that
didn't
from?
say that. I said you don't have to restrict yourself to Boohoo. You earn good money, doll.
But I'm
Buy
not
some more
restricting myself to Boohoo.
Buy some more sustainable clothing that doesn't
No,
shrink
no.
and isn't fast fashion.
Oh,
that
shut
is
up.
damaging the
Shut
world.
up if you're not a fast fashion person.
I'm not.
Shut
Tala
up.
is not fast fashion.
You don't buy everything you own from there.
Pretty much I do.
Nah, shut up. Anyway, my point was, mine won't ever be clothes. Mine will always. I'm not a material person.
What do you spend your money on?
So
So you get your allowances a month.
Experiences.
I need more.
What
Six
have
the
we just
musical.
booked? Literally, Six the musical. I've booked.
I do
to
rate a
see-
concert. I do
Love a concert. Love theatre. Love cinema.
It's
love,
that escapism, isn't it?
Yeah,
I feel like because you've got such a busy head, that's what you spend your money on.
yeah.
And
A
that's
spa
fine.
day. Like this is. I don't
you
get the
fucking
thing.
love a spa day.
Fucking love a spa day. They're my favourite thing in the whole world.
Brian, do you think that's a waste of money?
I don't give a shit if he does.
Oh, I wouldn't spend it. But he gets sad when you go for one and don't fucking take him, doesn't he?
No, he won't come with me. I think he'd love it. I think he'd have a great time.
Why don't you like it? Do you not want a woman rubbing your back?
No, I'd make a man do it.
Are you that girl?
No. No.
Are you not?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, we definitely sit there though, and if there was two girls that were walking over to us ready to take one each,
You'd
I'd want
take
the
the fit
fucking fit one.
Sorry, Brian.
Anyway, that's my whole point. So money to us, I love when people think that we don't spend any money, but actually what we do is spend fucking loads of money on other stuff. Like our holiday pot is a big pot.
So you didn't spend loads on your wedding?
No, but we also didn't have that money then.
Oh.
We earn more now than we were in the lead up to the wedding. If you think the wedding was
But you
nearly 2 years ago,
Could
4
have
years.
spent more on your wedding, but you chose not to.
I don't know if we could have spent more on the wedding.
Well, you did, behind his back.
Yeah, that's. But also, I have money like savings from.
I have
I'm
my
sorry,
own
Beth.
money.
I had money from when my nan died.
You kept it from Brian.
Yeah, that's my money. It's actually not. I think we've put it into the thing now, but that money was always because everything is shared.
Yeah.
My nan would have thought the same, but that money is like it has to be spent on something.
Imagine
cool.
if it was in the will.
Don't
not
fucking let
give
Brian.
to Brian. Brian Mitchell.
I do think it's weird when that happens though,
Yeah.
because I think it is technically mine. Do I have it or do we have it? I think I have it actually. I think
Okay.
it's in my pot.
Let's say then Isla got married
Yeah.
and you liked the partner, but you weren't like over the moon, and you were writing your will at that time. Would you be like to Isla only?
You can't say to Isla only.
Well, it's up to her. It's just money.
That's what I
innit?
mean.
Yeah.
So I could give it. My nan gave it to me, but I will spend it on our holidays. So
Okay.
it's a bit irrelevant.
Just a reminder for if Brian gets any inheritance, you've got to remember that.
I don't think he's getting any. No.
He don't need it. He's a big boy. He makes his own money.
That's why I would never live waiting for inheritance.
I know people. I know this is literally so irrelevant. However, but I know people that literally are scraping by, don't want to work hard, don't want to make money because they're relying on that inheritance.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they could
I'm like,
live.
you could another 30 fucking years.
Well, if
love.
I look at one of my nans is still alive, and my dad is 60. How old's my dad? 65.
Babs.
Like Babs. If he wasn't doing anything, trying not to earn any money because he's waiting for my nan to die, my nan's got another 10 years in her.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about people spending inheritance on a wedding?
So I think what I would like to do, and this is a discussion that Brian and I have had many times about like Isla and what we're leaving to her, is that I would much rather pay for the pay money towards the wedding. God, I hope she doesn't listen back to this when she's getting married. I would rather pay for the wedding. I want to see it. I'd rather give her more money as she's as we're alive to see it,
Yeah.
than leave loads at the end.
I think that though, because we were saying that the other day, we don't have kids, but we were saying like how much we'd save a month for our kids, and then like when they're 18,
Yeah.
there's a nice fucking sum of money,
But then-
and it's not going. Do you know what Jack said? If we've got an immature kid, they ain't fucking getting it, and if we have got a mature kid,
Yeah.
they've got to match the amount to save for a house, and
That's what we've said.
it's like you've got to
because this is the
understand
problem.
money.
I don't want to give her
Everything.
everything. So the things that I had that I would also want to do for my child is the first car. Did we actually know be able to help with the first deposit?
Yeah, so we did. I don't know actually. I think this was not me. I think I got everything paid for. Lol. But I think it's like I've seen people do. You pay for the car, but you buy the insurance.
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
what,
like you're not getting everything. You're getting like we're
I
gonna
got my
help you
car
out.
bought for me, but I paid for my own insurance, my
Yeah.
own petrol. Like same as
Petrol. Fucking hell, imagine if someone paid our petrol.
oh, mate. Some kids. That's what happens though. Some kids
Here's
get
Mummy
contract.
Daddy's Amex.
Like, do I have to get Isla a contract phone? Do I have to pay the contract?
People do that, don't
I
they?
know. So I'll pay for. I'll buy the phone.
Ick, right? I
What?
remember dating someone and they're like, "Yeah, my mum still pays for my
Yeah,
contract."
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Ugh,
That's disgusting.
"You're vile."
What do we do? Because my mum and dad bought me the phone, and then I would put credit on.
Yeah, but credit does.
That's
is
what
not,
I mean.
Credit's not a thing these days, is it?
Oh, man. So this is where everyone again thinks Brian's frugal, is that we pay for the phone, and then our contracts are like £15 a month.
yeah.
Cheap. So it's not being frugal. We still bought the phone.
Yeah.
We just then don't like big outgoings monthly, so that we can then apparently fucking save it all for Isla. But I don't want to give her too much because I don't want to be spoiled.
So, how do you feel about people using inheritance on a wedding? Say your nan left you a chunk of money and you were going to spend all that inheritance on a wedding.
The thing is, money's weird though, because you could spend it all on that, but then like it would work itself out anyway. Because if you spent half of it on that, you spend half of your own money, and then that inheritance would be used for other stuff anyway. So
I think you shouldn't, and I'm saying this loud and clear because I've got people that are doing it currently. I think you don't max yourself out.
No,
like
I
if
agree.
you've got 60k's worth for inheritance, it does not mean you need a 60k wedding.
I agree.
Like literally, just because it's there.
Well, that was the question you asked me about.
Yeah.
If we were getting married this year, we'd be spending more.
What do you reckon your budget would be now? Don't
Brian?
look at Brian. No.
Well, it's a
You're
joint
big
decision.
You're a big girl.
Right, honey. This is This is your problem. We're a team. We're a couple.
Yeah, but I
It's
know.
us.
Okay, do Brian's figure, then add 10 grand.
Yeah, well, that's what we did the first time. Brian, if we were getting married this New Year's Eve, what
Also,
would our budget
remember
have been?
inflation.
And we have our open, like we've upped our salaries.
She rich.
Well, I've upped my salary since.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
What year did we get engaged? What year did we get engaged?
We don't get paid
20
for the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, we don't. I was going to say the podcast was my favorite. We got engaged in 2020.
No.
Yeah,
20.
we
You got
engaged in December 2020.
Married.
Our salary in December 2020. Brian was still in the police,
Oh yeah.
earning fuck all,
It
and
was
I was
at
doing
the wedding that you announced, like him, not announced him, but it was in the speech as a joke. Like
He had joined that year,
Yeah.
and we were like, we'll either have a great wedding or we'll be divorced. We won't be getting married at this point because we hate each other.
So if you were gonna get married now, so what did you spend on your wedding in 2021?
2022. It's difficult because I want to make it clear that we used a lot of stuff.
Mates rates.
We had mates rates. I swapped things, like I did someone's wedding, they did someone's my wedding. So
what do you think it should? You did a spreadsheet, didn't you?
it should have cost 45,000.
Woo!
It
Okay.
didn't cost 45,000 because I didn't. This is where I think people get so caught up in weddings and the cost and things like that, which is why I want to try and be open about it. I personally would not have spent 45,000. We would not have had that money.
Okay.
We could have done it. We could have got credit cards. We could have used I could have used my nan's inheritance.
Okay.
I could have done X, Y, Z. I don't want to spend that.
So, let's ignore what you got for the wedding. What did you spend? What did you budget?
We spent 15,000.
Okay, fucking bargain.
Was a
Right.
bargain. I agree.
But so that's what you were comfortable spending in
That's what we could
2022.
afford. When we got engaged in 2020, we looked at
15 grand's a lot of money. Just like
it is, and we didn't.
we throw that figure around like a lot. Like,
that was no additional. That's not people giving us
Yeah.
money to go towards it. So we then and what was Brian? What was our salary in 2020? Yeah, I was maybe taking 50. Yeah, maybe a joint salary of 50,000. Like,
which is average. What's the average salary?
nah. 35, so
grand.
about 70 grand is average. So we were well under average salary. So the 15,000, like if we looked at what we earn every month, what was outgoing, we were like, how much can we afford to put in the pot to save towards the wedding? And that's what we could afford to do. So that's what we spent. If we were doing it now, we're on more. I'm not going to say our salary, but it's like, I don't know if anyone thinks it's ridiculous.
£1 million a year.
I promise you it's a normal salary. We probably would have maybe spent, Brian, an extra 10. Like 15. I still wouldn't have gone mad.
I reckon you would do an extra
But
15.
there's not that much more I would have wanted to have.
Yeah, but if you didn't get, like, you might have changed things, or
yeah,
the price of things now is way more expensive.
The price has gone up. Another 10, I reckon. There's a few things that I think, it would have been nice to add X, Y, Z, but not loads more.
Do you know what I think Pat put something up actually, of someone being like, public service announcement.
I've literally got that on the list to bring up today.
Play that, because I think that's so relevant, because
I agree.
I've got clients, and it annoys me that they're pushing themselves. Like, I've got interim payments. They're like, oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, why are you having it?
And I get that it may seem like we are the people that are pushing these things, and I want to make it clear that we're not. Like, I'm going to give you a million ideas, that your job is to pick the ones you want.
Yeah.
Don't do it all. Nobody wants it all.
Because I think it can be quite disheartening, can't it?
100%. Even I'll go to weddings and I'm stood there in this stunning marquee there's clearly tenfold what I spent on my wedding, and I'm like, oh, this would have been really cool. But
Yeah.
I couldn't afford that.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
And then when you say the average salary is what, 35 grand?
Yeah.
Like,
so joint salary
I don't
of 70
even, like,
grand.
Respectfully as well, 35 grand, cost of living fucking crisis. People with kids.
I was going to say,
fucking tight.
Kids, Isla alone fucking drains us. Like, in a lovely way. We love you, Isla. But like swimming and tutoring and like all of these things. And you
don't want them to miss out on things as well.
No, I'm not going to stop. We could have spent 10 grand more if we did nothing else for the 2 years we were planning our wedding. That's not for me.
Do you think there's like a taboo, like if you got engaged and then didn't get married? Like, I don't think people want to openly say, I can't afford a wedding. Do you know what I mean? If I got engaged now and I turn around to you and be, oh, we can't afford a wedding, we're not gonna do it. You'd be like, oh, okay, but I wouldn't, like, I don't know, like, do people openly want to admit their finances?
No, which always confuses me, because I'm quite happy to talk about money. Like, same for, we want Isla to grow it. I remember asking my dad if 100 grand salary was a lot, because I was looking at all my job choices. So I must have been like quite old enough to know what I wanted to. And I remember saying, does a barrister earn 100 grand? Is that a good salary? Because I had absolutely no idea of the amount of money like a salary was.
Yeah.
I knew what money, like I'm not an idiot, but I knew what money, but I didn't know what was good. So I want to be open and talk about, like, this is how much a wedding is. This is a lot of money.
Brian, describe the current climate. Yeah, describe the I was going to say in 3 words.
It's quite hot.
But like financial climate, like it's...
But it's so different for everyone. I get this question a lot where people are like, the cost of living crisis affecting weddings. No, because for every person who is affected by the cost of living crisis, somebody is benefiting from it and spending.
But do you think you have any clients who are like against the great, like on the breadline and are still trying to plan a wedding?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And I've seen a lot on Facebook groups of people like, we've cancelled our wedding, lost our deposit because we literally, everything's just going up. People aren't locking in like 2026 pricing. Yeah. Rightly so, like caterers aren't locking in those prices because also it's all going up for suppliers. Yeah. Like everything is more expensive for I've just had our insurance thing back, like public liability. It has gone up £500. Wild, isn't it? We just done ours. And I can't get 10 million
cover.
Can't get 10 million cover anymore. I can only get 5 million.
Yeah.
They won't insure us because of COVID.
I just think money, and I was saying this to Brian the other day because we were on about the hub and I want Brian to go and do a live. And I said one of the things that he should kind of start with is you can't be making a wedding budget if you don't have a life budget. There's no point making this gorgeous spreadsheet for your wedding budget if your bills and food and all of this sort of stuff is coming up out and you've got no idea what your budget is for like general stuff.
Do you think that matters when you've got so much money? It doesn't matter?
I think it's stupid. What?
Doesn't matter how much you earn. You should.
So you're saying you should still have a budget?
Spreadsheet.
The more you earn, the more you need a budget because you need to allocate it. Otherwise, you will just spend money on shit.
The best thing we ever did was start allocating money better. So now I know that every month we almost have to spend £150 on family fun stuff.
But I think that's good though, because you're
And there's no guilt in me spending it.
prioritizing
But I think
family time though.
we were talking about this yesterday because we were on about booking. I'm gonna try and book a little holiday in October because I was like, I fucking need something. Like
you saw how brown I was.
I was so brown.
You should do Cyprus. It's nice and hot.
Yeah, do you know what?
That's what we're gonna do.
I don't care where we go. I just want an all-inclusive, cheeky little. I think I've got a 5-day break in between some weddings. I'm
Lie
going
there and just get served drinks.
I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do anything.
I love an October break.
But we've looked at a few. We keep looking at them, and then I was like, why haven't we booked it yet? And then I realised that me and Brian have this issue with spending money because we used to earn fuck all. We had Isla I was 21, worked part-time. He worked full-time as a bartender. Like, we had no money, house, child, trying to do it. So in our heads, we're still in that like...
But this is what I was trying to say to you earlier.
But now we've got the money.
No, you took it the complete wrong way. Is that Brian, no qualms, would be like, yeah, new camera. We need new mics. We need to do this. Because it's going to... In his mind, respect. I can see him. No, don't jump in.
No.
It's going to enhance and make more money, and it's more of an investment.
That comes from the business account. That's different money. That ain't the same kind of money. That's the we'll get a camera money.
That's what I feel like. You're good at spending money on business stuff.
Yeah, because the business pays for it.
But like
when it's our money,
that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like you're not frugal. Well, you are frugal when it comes to like everything's intentional.
You're using the word smart. Frugal instead of the word smart, Beth. That's what you're doing there.
But when I say this is how this whole, we weren't even going to talk about this today, but Brian just digged me out about clothes, is that you struggle to spend money on yourselves.
Yeah.
Like why have you not booked that holiday?
That's what I mean. I don't know yet because we're keep trying to find the right one.
Like
we'll
you deserve, basically what I was saying is you deserve it, guys.
Thanks.
But she first like, I shop at Boo Hoo and I don't count. I was like,
did
fucking not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say that.
shop at Boo Hoo. I don't know where that's come from.
Saying you deserve it to slip.
Yeah, Brian doesn't like the deserve it word.
Yeah, but you work hard, so you deserve
Everyone
nice
works
things.
hard.
Everyone works hard.
No, but
Everyone listening to this works hard.
everyone who's listening to this
no
works
bullshit.
hard.
I'm not having that. I am fucking not having that. Do you know what me and Jack?
Everyone listening to this
No, okay.
episode
There's
right now
there's a
works
level of work hard and work hard.
Like that's what annoys me. Like you know when you're like,
hard. Define working hard.
yeah, but we always say, me and Jack were saying this the other day, like I'm gonna get so much fucking hate for this. I can't say it.
I'll say it for you. You think you work harder than a lot of other people.
Yeah.
If you write it on paper, you do more hours than other people. That's how we can word it without you getting hate.
Yeah.
Which I agree. I think I work more hours than the normal
average person.
Yeah,
who
agreed.
could, respectfully, when you were taking your smaller salary, you were working way harder than everyone else that was on 25 grand.
Yeah.
But now where you are. Do you know what I mean? Hard work.
Building.
But I do think hard work gets you results, and it's
100%.
not to say you don't work hard. It's like I know people that work from home and fucking are sunbathing every day and
I know.
do this.
That's the dream.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, fucking hell. Like in the early days, you're like, I am grinding.
Mate,
and people get the freedom that we get, and I'm like, you don't even have to work for it.
Yeah, but then we get I tell you, it was my mate Jamie Lang posted something ages ago, and he was talking about self-employed and money and stuff like that. And was it him? I think it was. And he was basically saying that like the money you earn is normal, but the experiences we get are far more. Like most people that are working their normal jobs, sunbathing whilst on furlough, whatever, aren't then getting...
Not even on furlough. Like the last 2 days.
Oh, right, fine.
I have people who have sent me photos of them sunbathing in the
100%.
garden, and I'm like, that's all right, don't worry, I've got a load of Anna sweaty as fuck.
Anyway, I was trying to try and find that wedding thing, but I don't know how to copy and paste it in without...
Anyway, on that note, that was a really long intro of basically Brian pissed me off this morning, so I just wanted to out him back with his Ray-Bans. And you know what? I'm going to sit on his Ray-Bans and see how he feels about that, because he wishes it was a Primark pair.
That's so mean.
I'll get a Bayran from Tenerife.
Bayran.
I used to have a pink pair.
See, stuff has never done it for me. I don't know why.
I got it from holiday.
No, but like I've never been a
designer gal.
I don't think I own anything.
What would you say is the most expensive thing you own? Your ring?
Yeah, my watch maybe. It's just a smart watchy thing. It's like less than £300.
Brian used to have a diamond earring that was worth £5,000.
That's absolutely not true. Although one of my brides the other day did get a Cartier bracelet, and I was like, that's quite nice.
Oh,
I do quite like that.
One of my brides got a Rolex, so I was like,
yeah, it's never been.
But also, if you have the money and it doesn't strain you spend your money on what you want to spend. If it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
I don't know what I will spend my money on. What? I like skincare at the moment.
Brian going, I don't like the word deserve, and I literally use that every time as an excuse. I deserve this.
This is the problem.
I've
But then
worked
this is
really
the problem
hard.
with my. I tell you what, my money
worked
version of this is
really
food. I'm like, I've worked really hard all day at the wedding. I'm obviously going to go to McDonald's. Like,
You
what?
justify anything.
You can justify anything with the word deserve.
I deserve a McDonald's.
Yeah. Right. I'm playing this thing.
No, fine. I want to talk about.
This is a public service announcement. Hi, I'm Lindsay Coulter, a wedding and portrait photographer, and this message is for all couples getting married in 2024, 2025, and 2026. There is a disturbing trend happening, and we want you to be protected. Couples are spending an unhealthy amount of time on TikTok, causing them to believe that they need to practice their soft smile, have a first look with every member of their family, friends, and wedding party, and have a champagne tower when they don't even like champagne. We are here to remind you that the events you see on TikTok are often styled shoots with models and not real events. They are marketing tools used to show you what you could have and not necessarily an accurate depiction of what is realistic based on your personalities, venue, vendors, and budget. So dream big, yes. But have a wedding that is yours and not the culmination of 300 TikToks you watched this week. The solution is simple, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Simply swipe up from the bottom of your phone, close the app, and get the off TikTok.
Ooh, it's like a house though, isn't it? Like you see all these amazing houses on TikTok, but it's like actually,
the biggest thing for couples is why. You can do whatever you want. I have no issues. If you see I'm a prime example. You look at one of my TikToks and you say, I really like that idea. I want to do it. Why? Why do you want to do it? Does it make sense for you guys as a couple? Then cool, do it.
do you feel like some people portray their lives differently? For example, they live this lavish life.
Yeah, obviously. And then they're
Potentially can't afford it.
7 credit cards in debt.
And then feel they have to do the same for the wedding.
Yeah, of
Because people
course.
be like, they're not going to get married in a village hall.
Of course.
How do you stop that?
You can't.
'Cause that's sad.
But that's also like saying, why do you buy loads of designer clothes for holiday when you can't? I'm not saying you can't afford it. Hold on.
I
Hold
don't-
the fuck on.
I don't buy designer clothes for holiday.
Let me do my example. Where people buy designer clothes for holiday to go off and show off and do it when they can't afford it, when they don't have a pot of money that if they lost their job they'd be okay. It's just the society, isn't it? We've got deeper rooted problems than
It's fucked, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is why the wedding industry is terrible and wonderful all at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm a perfect example of terrible and wonderful all at the same time. I show TikToks of all these wonderful things that you can have at weddings. My aim of it is to give people ideas and inspiration and tips and stuff like that. Whereas some people would be watching them thinking, I want that and I want that and I need that and I need a dance floor and I need coloured glassware and I need X, Y, Z. It's a bit of an emotional episode, isn't it?
However, I do think you can do things. You can enhance your wedding without it costing a fortune.
1,000,000%.
By being smart. Smart's the key word here. Smart.
Intentional. Do you want to go through some?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
You give me a list.
Hold on. Okay, so
fire some things.
First thing I want to say is the key word that Brian just used, the intentional spending. So at the very start, you pick the most important thing to you. If it's decor, that's where we don't cut costs on it and we budget well towards that.
But I also think you can save costs in so many places. Like, you said coloured glassware.
Yes.
This is my argument, and I'm sure venues and caterers are going to get annoyed at me by saying this, but I'm going to say it.
When has that ever stopped you?
Please don't come for me. But a lot of caterers either own their own glassware or hire the glassware in from hire companies, correct?
Yeah.
So if the couple decide not to use your glassware,
yes,
therefore they should be getting a discount on the price. Because you know what? You don't have to wash it.
Yes.
You don't have to lay it. Potentially, you might have to. It depends if you...
This was going to be my point.
If
they have to set it up and clear it, then I get the fee.
Yeah, I get a fee. But if you're not hiring it, if you're not washing it, if you're not transporting it, there's all these costs that actually... You don't have to load a van full of glassware. There's so many... bits of you, like, actually,
I do think when you're setting up the entire wedding, if it's an etiquette wedding where it's got the chargers, the cutlery, the crockery, the glassware, everything, the tablecloths, there should be a lesser fee for the couples because you're not having as many people set up.
The linen, you don't need the linen to be cleaned. The napkins, granted, you can charge a service fee to clear it, put it all
100%.
away, put it back in a linen bag. I'm here. I'm not saying don't charge for your services. Like,
but it shouldn't be the full amount.
Genuinely, you need to fucking charge for that. Like, nobody should be working for free.
Yeah.
But if there is, like, I think, like, the wash fees, if you're not hiring, like, I know a catering company that hires all their kit in. Some catering companies hire it from us.
Yeah.
So they're then passing that cost on to the client. But if that couple decided not to hire through, like, if they wanted to hire for another company, like a decor company, why should they be footing that bill?
Agree. Maybe we need a caterer on here. We should do that.
But like, from a catering background, like, we either, like, where I worked,
when I used to work, we used to hire in the stuff.
Yeah.
So we would hire in less glasses, and then maybe I would have probably said maybe 50% of the fee, we'll half it, because we are still clearing it all,
you
packing
still need
it away.
service plates, you need cookers,
Yeah.
you need fridges, you need cooler vans, you need, like, all of that. Like, I'm not dismissing any of that. Like, there are fees and services that need to be paid for, regardless whether, it doesn't really matter if you've got a charge plate, cutlery, napkin, glassware. Respectfully, like, there are fees. But if you are taking a chunk of that out,
Yes. Agreed.
and that's where I say there is, like, it's not you're just playing for a
But the problem is you ask the companies and they say, no, that's what we do.
yeah,
And then
you're stuck. Yeah. And that's the thing. But stationery, I think, is one of the easiest ways to do things cheap, and you can
100%.
make it so luxury. Like, get your own embosser.
Embosser,
Literally,
logos.
pay for your own embosser logo. You can use it on your invites.
Yep.
You can use it on your envelopes.
Yep.
You can use it on your menus.
Yep.
You can use it on everything. What are they, like, 30 quid?
Yeah.
And that will save you so much money in the long run.
The thing is, we've got to look at both things here. We've got to look at the saving money on the things that you have to do, and the way of adding stuff that looks really expensive that isn't expensive. So the embosser, don't need it. Definitely don't need it. However, if you're looking to try and make everything look bougier, an embosser is the cheapest way to do that.
Because people get so I've got a client who gets really disheartened. She's like, yeah, but I really want it. And I'm like, if you can't afford it,
Don't have it.
we can't do it. But she's like, but I really want it to look good. I'm like, okay, well, have you thought about this?
Yeah.
Like
coloured glassware.
and like,
If you can't afford to do all the charges and like all of that sort
Yeah.
of thing, a little pop of colour is going to really add to it.
buy napkins secondhand. There are so many people selling napkins on Buy My Wedding, Sell My
Yeah.
Wedding, Rock My Wedding, secondhand page.
Yeah.
Like, candles, all second. Like, you can get. People don't want this shit after their wedding,
Mate, there is still shit in my garage.
but like, people
I got
sell
back
it.
and was like, I'm going to sell all that, and never
I feel
have.
like, again, people are like in this, like, I need it brand new for my wedding.
No,
No
you
one's going to
don't.
notice.
Nobody knows if that runner is new.
Yeah.
I promise you, nobody cares. That's the thing. This is the thing. No, it's a respectful way of me saying this to you, but nobody cares. People are coming to your wedding and they're looking at the overall thing and how they feel at that wedding. Nobody is looking at your runner and going, I don't reckon that's brand new. I reckon that's rented. Okay, cool. See you later. They just want the like feels. And if you're feeling good and having a fun day, everybody else is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's think of some other things. So we've got the coloured glassware. Let me open my newsletter. So we also had... Okay, choosing a non-traditional venue.
I literally had a conversation with my girl. She was getting married and she was like, the venue costs are so expensive. I was like, look for an Airbnb.
Yep.
I was like, genuinely, look for an Airbnb. One of the weddings I did was at an Airbnb, right? It was half the cost of a venue hire.
Yeah.
Half.
You do
They've
have to
got it-
check that you're allowed to do weddings.
Yeah.
That would be the first thing. Yeah.
They got it for the whole week.
Yeah.
So they could set up themselves. They didn't need like loads of people coming in, like, and all of it. And it was just like, do you know what? Nobody's probably got married there before.
Yeah.
It's not your traditional venue in your area.
Yeah.
It's a very home from home dinner party vibe.
The thing with... It's the same as a marquee. It's any dry hire venue. It is more work. It is more work. I'm going to say it one more time. It is more work. However, there are less rules. You can do what you want to do. So you can have just the evening. You can just do a barbecue. Get a hog roast outside, seats and chill. Like, you don't have to... You can do whatever you want to do.
As a vegetarian, how do you feel about having a hog roast?
I don't care. But
Does that not make you... Like, it makes me feel sick and I'm not even vegetarian.
I'm not going to go and touch it.
I love a hog roast, but seeing a pig being turned around...
Oh,
makes
do you
me
not
feel
like to see the animal that you're eating?
No, I don't. But how does that not bother you as a vegetarian?
Because I'm not eating it.
Yeah, but like, seeing it makes me really sad. I'm like, oh, that pig had a family.
Why don't you try being a vegetarian then?
Nah.
No,
I
I'm
like
not,
a steak, love.
I'm not. I don't push my opinion. I don't push my opinions on other people. It's an absolute fucking lie. It's all I do on the podcast. But I don't care if you eat meat. I don't care if Brian eats meat. I don't
Okay.
like. I'm not going to go over and stroke the hog roast. I used to have to set those up. This is pre-me vegetarian. Oh my God, guys. We used to have to wear, so I used to be the one that would like pick it off and like make them. And we used to wear like 6 pairs of gloves because it was so hot. And the worst job to do was to clear down that thing because the fat in there was vile. So yeah, non-traditional venues, same as marquees. Marquees may...
She got a quote for a marquee, 13 grand.
Yeah. That's a banging marquee though.
But like, and then you've got the land to put it on.
Yeah. But
that's like your whole half your wedding budget.
I know, but also our budget is difficult because it's not the same as a normal.
But still, that's
you have to look at the 45 grand one.
But you can definitely do like hotels, can't you? Do way cheaper.
Yeah, but you get less freedom, you get less flexibility. So the thing with the marquee, you could spend the 13 grand on the marquee, but then all the other things that you're doing, you have say over. You could then not have corkage on the drinks that you're bringing in. You can have a free bar because you're bringing all your drinks in. Yeah. Pay for some staff members to serve it. Like you can then save the money on other stuff. So sometimes when you go and look at venues and they're like, oh, it's £1,000 higher. And you're like, amazing. Yeah, we'll do it. And then you realize that you have to have the caterers and the caterers fees are this. And so just an option to look at some other.
Well, we had a bride, didn't we? She did her own hair because she went for a trial, Charlotte. She went for a trial, didn't like it. She's like, I'm going to do my own. And she looked great. She
did look great. You got to be confident though. Yeah. Got to be confident that did look great actually. Whose hair did I do the other day? One of my brides.
Well, you were saying you did Kat's hair, didn't you?
Oh yeah, we did Kat's hair. And obviously didn't charge her for that. It's mates rates. That is another tip, is to try and like straight away as soon as you get engaged, you're like, cool. Who do we know that does stuff?
Who do I know? Yeah.
DIY decor. I know you're not going to love, but give me some ideas of DIY decor. I feel like the bud vases ones people can do.
Bud vases are great. Yeah.
Only if you've got access the day before.
Yeah. You can. The thing is though, like you're very lucky in this day and age that you've got things like Shein and Temu.
Yeah.
Because you can get napkins on there for like £1.
Like I'm not even. We didn't even get married that long ago, but Shein, when we were getting married, was not what it is now. No. It was still that one where people were like, it's never going to come.
Yeah.
What?
You can
I don't want to buy stuff off there.
So much.
Yeah.
But again, who's going to set it up?
And also not sustainable and not good for.
Absolutely.
So we need
not.
to see where your what's it called?
And like quality isn't amazing.
Morals.
But like if it's not, you don't care about like.
If it's a friggin' runner, like we said, no one cares.
Also, like with that, go to your local fabric shop.
Yes.
Like you don't have to get them
making the napkins out of the
curtains.
IKEA curtains, weren't they?
Yeah, but like literally there is so much you can do. But also it's like, again, you've also got to understand like the value of exchanging time for money.
Yes.
Like if you've got a really good job and you're turning down overtime to do all this DIY, like it doesn't financially make sense.
Buy it. I agree. Off-peak dates and times.
100%.
Great ways. However, sometimes I'll speak to couples and at the start of the call, I'm like, what's the most important things to you guys? Like what are you trying to do? If they are saying to me, we want a massive party, we want everyone to get absolutely smashed, like that's the vibe we want, then I would argue that having a weekend would be worth the money.
I do, but I also think like if I said to you, I'm having a Monday wedding, you'd be like, yeah, cool, I'm going to put Tuesday off.
I would. But would it give a different vibe?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm doing a wedding in the next few weeks and I'll tell you about it when it's done, and I'll tell you how. But it's a Wednesday wedding. But she's not a Wednesday wedding kind of gal. She's
we got hate
not.
for that as well, don't we?
She texts me. She was like, "Is a Wednesday wedding thing kind of a kind of thing?"
Yeah, you've got to. I think you have to know your guests. You have to be able to look at your guest list and be like, they will all bring the vibe. If you've got normal kind of people that aren't massive party people, then I don't think you'd get that same experience on a Wednesday. If you've got like for us as suppliers, we look at the crowd. Like I'll quite often stand with a photographer midway through and I'm thinking we're trying to figure out if it's going to be a party. And I'm like, okay, well, we've got like a good chunk of older people. Yeah. Respectfully, they're not dancing as much. So we're trying to figure out if the dance was, if you've got a room full of 120 guests, there's going to be a party. If you've got a room full of 30 and 20 of them are older, probably not.
Yeah. I just think it shouldn't matter what day of the week you get married.
I agree.
But if you can save some dollar.
Yeah.
Dollar
bill. I also love winter weddings.
I never liked winter weddings until my sister-in-law got married and I fell in love with them. So
yeah,
I'm here for it.
I don't really...
I feel like everyone's excited for Christmas.
Yeah. And just...
It's like literally...
earlier.
Yeah, it's literally
it's
like...
nice.
You know when you worked in a normal job, we don't work in normal jobs anymore. But like when we worked and everyone would be like, go for a drink tonight because it's Christmas coming up.
Yeah, that kind of mood.
Yeah, fuck it, it's Christmas.
Fuck
it, it's Christmas.
Nobody gets married in January, and I get it, but I'm also like,
It's
it is
fucking
cheap, mate. It is cheap to get married in January. And are you seriously telling me that on the 29th of January, we did one of our tours in January?
Yeah, I'm over it.
It was fucking wild.
I get like the first couple of weeks settling back into work.
Yeah.
Last weekend in January, go hard.
Yeah. January, February.
We're like new year, new me.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo, that has gone out the window by the
Yeah.
28th. Keeping the guest list intimate.
Yeah.
I will say it again. I like evening guests. They bring an energy.
Or
If you get enough of them,
like
come
I
in.
said, you don't have to do any, like literally, if you get an Airbnb, have a ceremony of 20 people.
Yeah.
Fine. Have a nice drinks reception. And
Nice
then do you know
little
what?
sit-down meal,
Then
bougie.
invite
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep.
Everybody
Yep.
for a late barbecue, 5 o'clock.
Yep. Love it. I think we can just go way off. You can go way off the track of what a normal wedding is, and that's fine. It's okay. What else we got? Digital invitations.
Do you see the one I shared the other day?
Loved it.
On the
Yep.
Yeah, done.
Easy. You're invited to our wedding.
They
Here's a
literally
cute
got
video.
a newspaper each. Maybe what? £8? They're the big ones.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's say a tenner for
Yeah.
argument's sake. They got the bride balloons.
Yeah.
Tenner.
Yeah. 20 quid.
20 quid. Got someone to film it and a confetti cannon.
Yeah.
Done.
If we were getting married now, I think I'd do a digital, like a video. I'd do a really cool like teaser video of all the stuff, and then at the end it would be like, you're invited to our wedding.
Or just do a Canva and send it out to everyone on text.
Easy, cheap, free. Basically free as well.
Yeah.
Canva is free unless you go pro. You don't need pro to do it. Email, free, and a little bit of time.
Or respectfully, you can get digital downloads off Etsy for like $1.99.
Yeah.
Even quicker.
Yeah. And there's also templates on Canva, so
Yeah.
it's so easy. Repurposing decor and flowers. Yeah, agreed. I might redo this tip actually, but I did a tip ages ago that was like, go and walk around your house. There is stuff in your house. Like even we've got a big frame when you come in our kitchen. What does that thing say? What the fuck does our quote say on the wall? Something about perfection. Simplicity is the something of perfection. Something like that. Something cute. That would look lovely on a guest book table.
Yeah.
Just cute. Go and walk around. I've got dried flowers everywhere. Could have brought loads of bits and keep it, obviously, look with a, like, don't bring your whole house, but there'll be like photos of you guys and there'll be meaningful stuff. Go around your house and grab some stuff and take it with you because there's always a table that needs like something, you know?
Yeah.
Buffet.
The buffets.
Okay, let me finish before you don't like it. Buffet and food stations. So just changing up that food scene. You don't have to do a sit down 3-course meal and evening food.
I agree. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If we're trying to save some money on places.
Here, like, respectfully, I am here so people don't fucking commit to things that they can't spend. Like, that is how, like, and I feel like sometimes we could be responsible. We're like, yeah, do this. This is cool. Add this. Fucking spend 500 quid here or do that. Like, we are giving you ideas. But if you cannot afford it, please don't do it.
And why do we feel so bad about saying we can't afford it?
I know. It's a taboo, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't know.
And that's why I think
it's because people judge where you're spending your money.
And I think suppliers get ghosted for that reason because people don't be like, oh, it's out of budget.
Yeah. That's fine.
Just tell me. Tell me what your budget is and I will see what we can do.
Yeah,
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And if we can't, then we can't.
Yeah.
But I can recommend you someone that can.
Agree.
Like, it's no shame. And I feel like people have shit, like, get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what? I was saying to someone else who owns a business the other day. She was saying, I asked one of my girls, like, do you want to be a manager? And she kind of hesitated. And she was like, yeah, but like, I'm not out here trying to earn more money. I'm coming in to do my job as stress-free as possible.
Yeah.
Go home. I have my life. I don't need anything more. And I'm happy. And I bet you those people are way happier than people that have got double the salaries, but double the stress. Like sometimes people just want a simple life.
Yeah.
And there are those people out there.
Yeah.
And they're happy to be like, yeah, we can't afford it.
Yeah. But that's the same. For our wedding, I would have loved to add some more stuff on. At that point, we couldn't afford it. That's why we didn't have way more stuff. That's why, like, do you know what I was thinking about this the other night in the bath? Weirdly. Because there are people that we didn't invite to the daytime of our wedding, family, like more distant family, that I was thinking about how they probably were annoyed that they weren't invited. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford to have, that was another 2, 4, 6 people. If we had those, there would have been more. So that's another 12, 15 people. We could not afford to add that many more people on.
That's why I think people, like, you can never ever get funny with people for not inviting you to
No,
their wedding.
you have no
One,
idea
probably
why.
they just don't want to anyway.
True.
But two, if they can't afford it, who are you to fucking
I
kick
know.
off? Who are you?
Who the fuck are you? And we invited them to the evening. We were like, we still like these people. We want
you
them
still
there.
got to pay for them for the fucking evening. It's not
Yeah.
free.
And they didn't come to the evening because I think they would have assumed that they were daytime guests. And I'm like, if somebody, this is what annoys me. If our parents were paying for the wedding, fine. Then you get to dictate who's coming.
How would you feel if someone said, look, we really can't afford you guys?
Yeah.
They were like, well, we pay for ourselves.
Ooh. It's just a bit icky though, isn't it?
It feels.
I don't want your charity. I want you to come to the evening, but we can afford and have a great time.
But like, then you would worry about the food. Like, they've paid £100 per person.
Yeah.
They
No.
need to make. Do you know what I mean? It's even more pressure.
I think if so it was Brian's side of the family. If Brian's side of the family said, look, if you're happy to have these people, if the only reason genuinely you don't want these people here is because of the money, we'll pay to have them. They're our family. Are you happy with that? I would have been like, yeah, okay. Because the only reason they weren't in the date is because it literally involved another table, like a whole other table. If you're adding one guest, if you're adding one guest,
that's what I like. What you say, whole.
But to add a table,
Spenny.
it is spenny. Because let's say it's how much is the table? £18. How much is the tablecloth?
£15
Okay, let's do £30 now for the sake of that. Glassware for 10 people.
£30.
Brian, you might have to add this up as we're going. We've got 30 plus 30. Then we've all the cutlery, crockery.
£4 a person, £40.
40. Plus my centerpiece. We had the long
£80.
80. Plus then any of the candles and bits.
Well, you got napkins.
Napkins. Another, let's do 40 for then some tea lights and stuff like that. Then
The food.
the drink. How much are we on
The
at the moment?
chairs.
Oh, how much are chairs?
Depends what
Seven.
you have. £7 a chair.
£7. Another 70, Bri. What are we on?
You're like talking like £500 a table.
£2.90 before
For the
food and
food.
drink. We don't have that at that point. Now they might have got an invite to the day.
Nah. Do you know what? You lot would be able to do your wedding well cheap because you wouldn't invite half the guests.
So I
list.
know. Well, fucking easy, mate. I did think that because there's a venue that just announced that they've got this New Year's Eve free.
Yeah.
So they were like, it's quite a good deal. And I was like,
Right.
have a great party. What?
Oh my God, you so should.
I'd love to have New Year's Eve parties.
Going to be at 1 million downloads. Relive Georgie and Brian's wedding.
Oh my God, that would be cool.
And we have a big party.
Yeah, we should do that.
Please, Brian, intentional spending is through the business.
Yes, it's different money. You're so boring. Anyway.
Please, Brian, let us.
What else was on this?
I'll let you have 5 people that you want there.
You can have a table. But you know what? I was looking around a wedding the other day, and clearly each
Oh.
parent had been given a table.
Can I, what do you mean?
Each parent had been given a table to invite who they wanted to, and I quite liked that.
Yeah, if they're paying.
Yeah, well, I think they helped.
What I love as well, I've seen people do, the M&S biscuit favours themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
£30, I think it cost. $29.85 for all the ingredients.
Jesus, $29.85 specifically.
I think it was that. And that's for I think it was 60 yes.
And this is the thing. I think you have to start and be like, right, what can I DIY? What do I have time to DIY?
Start early. That's my biggest thing when it
I
comes to
agree.
start.
I wish I'd started my stuff
bloody
earlier.
early. I don't know what. I literally was like, you're a wedding planner. This is embarrassing. Get
I was
the fuck on
busy,
with it.
hun. I
And
was
then
busy.
SOS, please. Can you come and help me?
Didn't come. It was, but I forget that it was also still around that COVID-y time when the postal strikes went.
I actually can't believe you did that.
Did what? I ordered it. It didn't come. But we made a backup. That's what we do.
Not everyone's got Beth on speed dial.
Yeah, they do.
My number's 07.
What was I going to say? Oh, the DIY part. I should have started. Like, I embroidered stuff.
Yeah.
I did the drawings of everyone. I should have just
You've
done
done
that
ages ago.
2 years before.
I also know. You know what your names are. Welcome to so-and-so's wedding. Get
yeah,
that
make
done.
your welcomes up. But then what if you change your font and stuff?
This is what I mean. You can't. Who cares?
Yeah, you either change fonts or save
This
money.
is what I'm doing at the moment. I've got clients 3 months out and we block off at 3 months and say no more changes because it just messes up our side operationally. And I'm like, why are you changing?
Yeah.
I've seen something else.
I agree.
But you liked this.
We haven't gone through any of the stuff.
Oh, your things you want to talk about?
Yeah, but I mean, we've done it. I enjoyed this episode.
Dollar. Basically, we want you to feel comfortable with what you're spending.
That's the main, like, stop comparing yourself.
No one's going to come to your wedding and be like, fucking hell, that's a cheap wedding.
And do you know what? If they do,
Fine.
they probably have a different budget than you do. They probably earn different money than you do. They probably are having somebody help them pay for the wedding. Like, just fuck off. This is why I think I'm so pro personality stuff, is because it doesn't cost any money to add personality.
Sometimes.
You can, okay, let me rephrase that. You can always add personality for free.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Whether it's the songs you play, whether it's the
Cocktails you
that
have.
looking for a man in finance thing.
Yeah.
So cool, cost absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Love it. Like, it's those sort of little spark moments. What did somebody say to me the other day? They wanted to walk down, I can't say it because their wedding hasn't been yet, but they wanted to walk down the aisle to something, and they said, I said, what's your first, what you walk down the aisle to? She said the song. She's like, oh, so I'm not going to get my moment of having that song. And I was like, why? She's like, oh, I don't want to, I think it was a Disney song. She's like, I don't want people to think, to do what you did with and not like it. And I was like, why the fuck I was like, why do you care about anybody else? She's like, oh, I just don't want to tell people that it was.
I apologise if you've listened to this podcast. I really don't think you're that weird, but I just...
But like, at your
I like
wedding,
a Disney song.
But at your wedding, Beth, don't walk down the aisle to a Disney song.
No, I won't.
But do you know what I mean? Like, I was so sad that she was like, oh, I don't want people to laugh.
No one's
And
going to...
I was like, no, I've never seen anybody laugh ever at
I met a girl on holiday, right?
Yeah.
Right, a girl on holiday. And she had a Disney tattoo sleeve.
Yeah.
So from top of her arm to bottom of her arm, it was Disney characters.
Yeah.
She fucking loved Disney.
Yeah.
I still spoke to her. I still went out with her.
Yeah.
We shared a taxi to the super club. We said hello around the pool. Just because I don't like Disney doesn't mean I don't like you as a person.
I agree.
Also, I'm not going to laugh at you. You probably laugh at me for fucking liking the Kardashians.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But also, I don't respect. I just don't care. I would never have not walked down the aisle to the Friends theme tune because somebody was like, "I think that's stupid." I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's meaningful for us.
Yeah,
And I'm hoping she changes and goes
you'd probably
for what she
be
wants.
like, laugh at my music.
What would you walk down the aisle to? Kardashian's theme tune.
No, I want a gospel choir.
Yeah.
But respectfully, people could laugh at me for that. Be like, she's not religious. She
Yeah.
doesn't go to church. It
Yeah.
makes no sense to her.
Yeah.
But I just love a gospel choir.
You want it?
But people could take the piss out of me and call me a hypocrite.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think, just fuck it.
But I'd never go to, like, if you're friends and family with these people should know you.
I literally said to her, I was like, I never in
anyone's
any of my
gonna
weddings
laugh,
have I seen someone laugh
Don't
at it.
fucking invite them.
I know.
That's muggy.
I know. And she was like, oh, I just worry about telling people in the future what we walk down the aisle to. And I was like,
People,
why?
people, do you know what? Especially if you do a Disney song, like, I'm not massive on Disney. You all fucking know that. If you walk down to a Disney song, usually it's a cover or an instrumental.
Yeah, it is.
And do you know what?
It's
When
on
you're
the strings.
halfway down the aisle, people are like, oh my
Oh,
God, I
I love it.
knew I knew this one.
Yeah.
Cute.
I just don't think
You're
we
not
should be
coming down in
explaining
a fucking
ourselves.
horse and carriage with diamonds like Cinderella.
But also,
if you want to
do that, you do that.
But I'd expect you to dress up as Cinderella at parties and things like that. Do you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? I've seen people. I saw a wedding the other day. Her job was to dress up as
Disney princess.
Elsa,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a Disney
yeah.
princess for kids' parties. Of course, her fucking dress in the evening was an Elsa dress, but it was like short,
Yeah,
and she had like a blonde wig, but she made it a bit cooler.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone was like, "That's funny. That's not funny, but like
No,
that's,
but
that's
it's funny.
That's like makes sense."
Yeah. Like the little nods of the bit, and they are arguably cheap.
Yeah.
Free. I'm not going to say free because that dress wouldn't have been free, but the choice, the thing that you're going to
It's
have
gotta
anyway, make a good choice.
Makes sense.
Gotta make
This is what we
sense.
said. It's got to make sense to you. And if you want that, fucking have it.
You do you.
Don't care about
babe.
people's opinions like mine.
But that's the thing.
People are going to judge my wedding so fucking hard.
Yeah. But this is why we have us two on a podcast like this. We have different opinions. It doesn't mean either of us are right. It doesn't like there'll
I
be
feel
someone
like we're merging though. This is a bit of a problem, isn't it?
know.
Someone DM'd the other day. I was like, I just listened to episode at 4 or something, and you had a massive argument with each other. I was pissing myself laughing. I was like, I forgot about that. That's a huge argument.
Which argument was it?
What was it about, Bri? It was a fucking huge one. It was hilarious, and people were like, to the point, some people were like, I couldn't even listen. That was so bad.
I feel like we need to bring up some more controversial things that we have different opinions on to re-argue.
But I feel like we've grown and developed
I
each
feel
other.
like, yes, and I feel like the more that the wedding industry talks about stuff, I feel like 5 years ago the wedding industry was a totally different place.
Agree.
You had
2
package,
years ago.
I agree.
completely.
You
A
had
year when we
package A,
started
B,
this podcast.
yeah, weddings
Different
were different.
place.
Yeah,
And that's what I mean. This time next year,
But
completely
it might change
different.
your mind again. I don't think. But this is the thing. I don't. The thing that will never change for you guys planning your wedding is the personal stuff you put in it.
yeah.
Never. It will never change. It will never go out of trend. It will never go out of fashion because it made sense to you guys, and that's all that matters.
Do you feel like there's anything that you did at your wedding that's not on trend now?
We didn't really do many trend things.
But like anything you look back and go, oh, wouldn't have done that again.
No. But you could argue the glitter faces.
No, I think that's fun.
But that's what I mean. But trend-wise, it was very
You could say maybe
2022.
the 360 photo booth.
Yeah.
Which some of you will still probably have.
Yeah. I loved it.
But like, don't see it
It's
as
not
much anymore,
on
do you?
trend now.
No, do you know what? I think it was health and safety. I think a lot of people couldn't
Was
get
it?
insurance on it because if you step off and you're not, like, you can hurt yourself.
Yeah, you can.
But
I
like,
think they're cool. Yeah.
and that we had it at a launch party.
Yeah, we did.
We had money guns.
Yeah. But that's the
Relevant
thing.
to this topic.
There's nothing we picked that wasn't intentional, and therefore I don't regret any of the stuff we picked.
And you didn't not enjoy it on the day. Like, if
No.
you didn't enjoy it on the day, you'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have spent money on
Okay.
that. But
There's
you're
stuff
like,
I would have added, like we should have done a champagne tower.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That would have been cool. New Year's Eve, bubbles.
And it doesn't cost
Made
you
sense.
anything.
Doesn't cost, like, how much is the
why
glasses?
didn't you do it?
Because it wasn't really, because first of all, I wouldn't have known how to build it, whereas now I know how to build them with no
I
drops
thought
whatsoever.
Brian would have known how to.
I could have Googled it. It just wasn't a thing then. That's what I mean. You have to think, and you have to think about the trends. So we were December 2022. That probably all then started in end of 2023, really.
What I would say is if you see a trend and you're getting married in 2 years, if you still like it in a year's time, then go for it.
Yeah, agree.
So after this conversation, which we didn't intentionally have, give me 3 tips on how to lower your wedding costs intentionally. So like, you want to lower them. It's not because you have to, but because you you don't need to blow the budget.
Okay. Number 1 is to consider the things that are less important to you. For example, if cakes aren't important to you, don't have one. If decor, respectfully,
The cake makers are gonna
I know, I'm
come
sorry.
for
It's just always the one that
you.
comes up clear. Or if decor is not the most important thing to you, have the key bits of decor and don't go over the top with it. You don't need the arch all the time.
If you don't need a coordinator, which you don't need a coordinator.
You lie. But that is also true. Like, if you're...
Honestly, I'm sorry. You fucking need one. Like,
Yeah, I know. Do you know what I was trying to say that you didn't then, but I couldn't think of a reason why you wouldn't.
genuinely, like, I've got a bitches from a bride about a coordinator.
Have you?
And this
A venue coordinator?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll come to that. Tip number 2 is to add personality. That is the cheapest, potentially freest way to add something to your wedding, whether it's little logos that you've made on Canva that you can put on the menus and you can put on the welcome sign, all of those sort of things. Whether it's picking the right songs that kind of make sense to you guys as a couple, whether it's bringing decor from home. And tip number 3 is please stop comparing yourself to every wedding that you see on Instagram. First of all, it's likely to be a styled shoot where all of the people are providing the stuff for free so that they can get photos of it. Or it's an expensive wedding and you don't want to spend 250 grand on your wedding. So start comparing yourself to your own self and your own ideas and the stuff you like, and pick things that are very intentional for you guys.
Love it. It's like you're an expert. Let me find that DM about coordinator. So on the topic of not needing a coordinator and saving money.
Yeah.
This is the one thing I would rather you spend on than something else. Like
The flower arch.
fuck off. Right, so this is a bitches from a bride. She thinks it's classed as that because this is from her wedding day. So she's
Okay.
like, hey ladies, have a bitches from a bride on my wedding day. Currently sat in Crete on our mini-moon, reflecting on what was the absolute best day, with absolute no thanks to the venue. Georgie, I know you've been saying it all along, but venue coordinators are only there for themselves and they are not wedding coordinators. And my oh my, you are correct. So all of the reviews from the wedding venue note how amazing the staff are and how they couldn't do enough for them and absolutely nothing was too much trouble. So believing them, I thought I'd be in safe hands. God, was I wrong. So we hadn't used any of their recommended suppliers as they weren't what we wanted. We had gone out and found the suppliers ourselves who were absolutely incredible, and the day would have been a shit show if they weren't there.
Wow.
The morning started early with the makeup artist and hairstyling arriving about 6:30 and came to the bridal cottage. Me and my bridesmaids were having the best time. Then about 9 a.m, stomps in the venue coordinator getting cross about a car that's parked in the wrong space. We had no direction as to where it should be parked, but the makeup artist moved her car as instructed with some shitty words from the coordinator. We move on. Just as I was getting my makeup done, she stomps back in, saying that the table linen I had hired isn't long enough for the tables. So I went with her to look. She hadn't unfolded it properly. She then proceeds to tell me that today is going to be a very difficult day as we haven't used any of their recommended suppliers. She was like, really don't understand why this is such an issue. We've hired professional people that do this day in, day out. She then proceeded to tell me that they're short-staffed today as all the people around her have just been diagnosed with cancer. As has she.
What the fuck?
Which I completely sympathise with, but do I need this information on the morning of my wedding?
You needed none of this information on the morning of your wedding.
Short staff or cancer.
Or tablecloths or car.
Photographer, videographer and music man turn up early to get the lay of the land. We choose to get married in Devon. We live in the Cotswolds with a small wedding as we wanted a chill day.
Cool.
She then proceeded to moan that they have turned up early. Not sure how this impacts her.
Stop.
Fast forward, ceremony goes amazingly, canapes and cocktails are fine, then we head for dinner. All goes okay until the tab runs out behind the bar and she informs us that it's not a cash bar. Something she did not mention in any meeting before we had.
What? As in people can't buy their own drink?
I worked in bars before, so if she had this, is something absolutely I picked up on. She then starts flapping about getting a card machine or cash and said that they have managed to get a card machine. But minimum spends £10. Drinks are spending at our wedding, so this was no issue for our guests. So basically it wasn't a cash bar. So once the tab had run out, no more drinks.
But also, again, didn't need to involve that.
But also,
you
didn't tell them.
But also, even if that is the case, just go and get a card machine.
Yeah. She then leaves and it gets to about 10:30. We always had to be done by 11, which was agreed. And the bar lady tells my maid of honour that everything needs to be out by 11. Although it was agreed for the venue, they would pile it up for us and pick up next day as we were staying on site anyway. Completely normal. So my sister, who, being who she is, packed everything up and got it out before the deadline. Next morning comes and the venue coordinator, who's also the owner, gets told about this and asks myself and my new husband. We tell her what happened and she goes and gets the member of staff who completely denies ever saying it and said there must have been a complete miscommunication. Bullshit. God, this is so long. I'm so sorry. We then spoke to our vendors who said she was incredibly rude to them all, that they will not go to that venue again. We had said from the beginning to her that we will pay for any drinks as they want throughout the day, as it was a hot day and they're around for so long, but she refused them drinks. It was a fight to get them a hot meal on the day. The florist wasn't allowed to tag the venue in any Instagram stories or posts, as they are very loyal to their recommended suppliers. I just don't understand why you're like that in the industry where recommendations and reviews are everything. I'm also too scared to write a review as she responds to them all. Just don't see the point, but I want people to know what it's like. Anyway, moral of the story, get a wedding coordinator who would deal with these bitches on the day so we don't have to.
Preach. Oh,
these are all things I've heard before. I'm not surprised.
And again, I know I say this a lot, but genuinely, you don't have to book my company. This is not a sales thing whatsoever, but a coordinator will just
fight your corner,
ease your day. If you are at a venue that does back-to-back weddings and you are using all recommended suppliers and you're pretty confident with photos and you don't have a huge amount of like stuff and things like that, then fine. They'd still have stuff to do, but a coordinator wouldn't be as necessary as, say, a marquee, whatever. But it's an insurance thing. You have absolutely no idea what that day is going to go like. If you've got someone who you've paid, like my loyalty is to my couple, they've paid me.
Yeah, I work for you.
Me. Yeah, like you were saying before about the decor. I care that the decor looks right and good, and I'll check that you've done what the couple have paid for. But my job is to make sure everything is going well and everybody's happy and the suppliers are all looked after and they all know what they're doing and all of that sort of thing. That's what a coordinator does. A venue coordinator is just different. It's just different thing, whole other job. So I'll leave that with you. I feel bad for her though. It must be difficult for couples after a wedding to look back and think, I know that there was something I could have done that would have got rid of all of those problems. That's sad for me.
But none of your guests would have noticed this.
No, that's the thing. And it's you guys that have just got to live with it. And as you said, you had the best day ever. So as long as you were happy, then fine. But here's your sign to book that, save the money on all those other things that we gave you tips for and book a coordinator. Okay, guys, we will see you next week. Thanks for joining.
And maybe we'll catch up with your list of things that we had to catch up on.
Yes, I really want to go through those.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.